Ladies and gentlemen, there are a couple of problems that the Durham Probe Special Counsel faces. Number one, the text message that he utilized against Sussman, very incriminating text message, quote, "Jim, it's Michael Sussman. I have something time-sensitive and sensitive I need to discuss. Do you have availability for a short meeting tomorrow? I'm coming on my own, not on behalf of a client or company. Want to help the Bureau, thanks." That text message, according to Andrew McCarthy, might not be as incriminating as it sounds, and here's why. Andrew McCarthy writes in Fox News, "First, the prosecutors did not have the text or even know about it when they indicted Sussman in September of 2021. Consequently, the text is not pled as a false statement in the charging document. The indictment instead charges that Sussman made the false statement while meeting in person with Baker on September 19th. That makes the case more challenging for prosecutors. The 20-minute meeting between Baker and Sussman was not a standard FBI interview. It was more like a short one-on-one meeting between a pair of old friends. The session was not recorded, and there was no second official on hand to take notes and clarify any ambiguities." So that issue for the Durham Probe Special Counsel is proving that Sussman lied during the meeting. That's what he's indicted for. Now, you might say these technicalities are ridiculous and absurd, and I agree with you on that. He obviously lied, but they didn't get the text message. There was an issue with the statute of limitations pertaining to the text message, and they had to indict Sussman. Before a certain date. So they obtained the text message after that certain date. Am I saying absolutely that, Sussman will not get convicted? No, I'm not sure about that. I think that he could very well. If the jury looks at all the evidence, there's no doubt that he'll get convicted. However, there is a huge question mark. There could very well be a hung jury, in which case, like I keep saying, if the defense, because Michael Sussman did not testify today, so they were thinking of having him testify. He decided not to. The defense perhaps is confident that they don't have to prove their case, that there's enough doubt, at least in terms of technicalities, for there to be a hung jury. Maybe not an acquittal, okay, because there's too much evidence. There's a possibility of acquittal. Okay, there's a possibility. This is D.C. You have a couple technicalities that the Durham Probe Special Counsel has to overcome, and you have zero media support for this. So, again, this would lead to future indictments, especially if Sussman gets off, or I should say there's a hung jury. It could very well lead to future indictments of Sussman and others under 18 U.S. Code 371. Because if the defense did a good enough job explaining that the Federal Bureau of Investigation knew that Sussman and Baker were friends, knew that Sussman worked for Clinton and the Democratic Party, didn't care, and just had no problem at all accepting derogatory information, false, fabricated, quote-unquote, opposition research that was meant to start government investigations with taxpayer dollars. That's 18 U.S. Code 371. Okay, when you defraud the United States of America, you can prove that already with McCabe, Comey, McCabe, and I wrote about that in the Federalist in 2019. They all worked in conjunction with one another. They had different roles to play, but they were all hiding behind their bureaucratic posts to basically deceive the entire country. Hit subscribe to this channel, ladies and gentlemen. Hit subscribe to the Stock Market Crash channel below in the pinned comment. I have a very important segment on the Stock Market Crash channel. I have a very important segment on the Bitcoin Crash to 10,000 or lower channel. That's below in the pinned comment. If you want to support my work, my Patreon is below. To my new Patreons, thank you so much. And hit subscribe. I'll have a live stream tonight, so be here tonight for the live stream at around 8 p.m. Pacific. be here tonight for the live stream and become a member of this channel. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a chance that Durham isn't successful. Now, again, I want to just cover all the bases. Nobody will be happier than I will if Durham, gets the conviction because all of these people conspired against Trump. You have people, what Sussman did, this person, nobody knew who he was. But what Sussman did was lie and conspire along with a whole bunch of people to set up and frame Trump. But nobody really knew who he was. He's not he's not like one of the main characters in this, horrible chapter of American history. Democrats feel, and if they get the hung jury, because there could be a hung jury, they'll feel that they could get away with anything. That they can set up and frame Trump with impunity. That they can go ahead and manipulate government agencies, and it's no problem at all because they'll hide behind an absurd notion of national security. It's not Clinton's emails or Trump asking another country to find Clinton's emails is not national security because Clinton's emails, the deleted emails especially, in addition to the top secret intelligence on private servers, were definite threats to national security. Okay? That's a huge problem. You can't have servers running outside of the United States government. You can't have a politician with servers running outside the United States government. Mind you, I want a Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump 2024 or a Trump DeSantis 2024. But you still can't have top secret intelligence on servers running outside of the United States government. There is not a rebuttal from Democrats for that. There is zero rebuttal. They'll say, well, Ivanka or Trump used private email. That's not about private email, you imbecile. It's about servers, running servers with top secret intelligence on them. But see, again, media doesn't there's no suspicion allowed. The way media focuses on Trump, it's only suspicion, what he's capable of, what he probably did. There's no suspicion. We have no clue what Clinton could have done with private servers. We have a pretty good idea if you just use the same logic they use against Trump. Okay? The servers were a way to hide communication. Very likely because she wanted to hide the foundation emails. But very likely because she wanted to hide foundation emails. But you have a situation, ladies and gentlemen, and perhaps other issues, but you have a situation where a government official did not have not only a government email address, but had functioning servers where she managed to migrate or transfer top secret and special access program intelligence, and Comey thought there was no intent to hide. There was no intent to break laws, neither did Peter Strzok. Somebody should ask Strzok or Comey or McCabe how Clinton transferred top secret and special access program intelligence. But again, see, media doesn't care. Media only cares about what Trump possibly could have done because he's such a menace, as President Mashed Potato Brains is presiding over free fall in the economy, society collapsing, terrible foreign policy, terrible. Okay, they just want that geopolitical crisis. They want to use a scapegoat when there were food shortages and recession fears and a stock market bubble that I was talking about long before in September of 2021. Watch the playlist and look below in the description section. I was talking about the economic problems, the macroeconomic catastrophe we're facing in September of 2021. That's when I started the stock market crash channel and the playlist on this channel predicting the stock market crash, and we're seeing it. Market could go up today. It really doesn't matter. It'll eventually get below 30,000 and then drop down to 25,000 because things are not going to get better, unfortunately, in the near future. They're going to get much, much worse. But you have Hunter's emails. Okay, so media converge. They have Twitter, but you have to understand, people were silenced and they were silenced on Twitter. You couldn't offer dissent. You couldn't talk about Hunter's emails where there's clear requests to use his influence on behalf of a certain company. Okay, but they had Twitter at that point. Now, Elon Musk is wrestling control wrestling Twitter away from them. Okay, they're going to get completely obliterated in the House and the Senate. You might say, oh, well, you know what, anything's possible. Yeah, but we're going into a recession with history on the side of Republicans. And every poll says, every single one says Democrats will get obliterated. So, okay, so you're going to have a House and a Senate, and if there's a hung jury, it'll be because, like I keep saying, the defense explained categorically that the Federal Bureau of Investigation knew and didn't care. That is 18 U.S. Code 371. So, if anything, long term, here, it's probably, you're not going to want to hear this, and for the 10 or 11 minute crowd, it's probably better long term. Like, it's better for Comey, Strzok, and McCabe and all of them, Clapper, Brennan, if Sussman gets indicted. It's not good. It's not good if Sussman doesn't get, if Sussman gets convicted. If he doesn't get convicted, it's not good for any of those people, because that will be a court record, a court decision that was predicated upon the Federal Bureau of Investigation knowingly accepting information from the Clinton campaign because they were politically biased. And of course they were biased. It's interesting how you have people on the left, when it comes to because this is like dogma for them. It's like the Democratic Party has become religion. It's not about politics now, because so many of them have done away with God or religion or anything like spirituality. So the average Democrat derives spirituality from, opposing Trump or ridding themselves, of friends and family who support Trump. They disown people because, they know people who support Trump. They oppose Trump as if he was exactly the caricature that they have in their mind, which he's not. Okay, but you have to understand, they think they can get away with all of these things, and you might say, well, if there's a hung jury, then of course they will. It's like, no, it's actually, Rome wasn't built in a day. Long term, if Durham can actually utilize the defense, Sussman's defense, saying that the Federal Bureau of Investigation knew, many, many more indictments, that they knew and they didn't care that Clinton was feeding this nonsense within the Bureau to get government agencies with taxpayer dollars to investigate Trump. It goes right back to Clinton as well. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe to this channel right now. Go to the stock market crash channel, the Bitcoin crash channel below right now. I will have a segment in a couple of hours, and be here on this channel, and be here for the live stream tonight. Thank you.